2026, Vista Mayor John Franklin is leading an effort to stop county supervisors from raising our taxes. Joining us to tell us about the county leader's plans and why he opposes them is the mayor himself. Mr. Franklin, thank you for coming into KUSI.
Thanks for having me.
All right, it seems to be the only solution to the spiraling costs here in California. It's never cut back. It's always, let's dig our hand a little deeper into our citizens' pockets. Is this another example of that?
That's absolutely right. Locally, at the state level, we've been assaulted by a blizzard of tax increase proposals from governments that have overspent their income, and now they want to come back to us, like teenage kids coming back to mom and dad saying, hey, we got to have more money. The problem is, we've grown the size, and we're talking specifically about a couple of tax increase proposals that have been brought forward by County Supervisor Terra Lawson-Remer. One of them is a proposal to study a tax increase. The other one is particularly insidious, a transfer tax increase. What's a transfer tax? It's a sales tax on your house. For young families, when they go to buy a home, they might pay as much as $15,000 when they buy the median priced home in San Diego County, which is now $949,000. It's a real barrier to affordability, to home ownership. And what my biggest problem with it is, and the reason that I have consistently opposed tax increases, is the fact that, we've grown county government by 2,518 employees. It's a 13% increase in staffing. And at the same time, the county population has declined by 20,000 people. So why are we hiring more people to serve a smaller population?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing that a lot of people find so distasteful, is that a lot of these well-heeled politicians, either through family money or the fact that they have a permanent seat at the government trough and are impervious to all these tax increases, Joe Blow isn't. I mean,
that's right.
Now instead of making it on that $500 that you have left over, now you have to make it on the $435 that you have, and then the $385, and suddenly you're eating peanut butter jelly all month long.
The county is in a deficit right now of $138.5 million because of their failure to right-size their budget following the pandemic. And, this transfer tax, it's a regressive tax. It's a tax that's going to hurt working families, middle-class families, worse than it is people at the upper end of the income scale. Same with the sales tax. It takes more of the discretionary income of lower wage earners than it does of higher income earners. And, I think you and I might prefer more of a fairer, flatter tax system, but one that harms working and middle-class families worse than others. That's particularly odious, and that's why I've formed a committee to fight these taxes if and when, and we think they will be, because this will be like the third cycle in a row they've been put on the ballot. So my committee, CaliforniaFamilies.com, we're going to fight this tax. We're going to beat it. We beat it last cycle. And we beat it again for the first time in 2016. Voters do not want to pay more taxes to get the same services in this county.
Not to be Debbie Downer, but even if you do beat it at the ballot box, then they find a different, like take Measure E. We voted that down, but then the city found a way to, okay, we're going to nickel and dime you with the trash here. And they figure out a way to, parking meters going up, they still figure out a way to extract a little more blood from their citizenry.
It's true, but voters pay attention to those things, and we're not only working to fight these proposals. I'm running for the Board of Supervisors because we need conservative leaders that step up, that can articulate these issues clearly to voters. Sometimes people get frustrated and they say, we need leaders with better messaging, and I say we need leaders who can articulate the issues. Jim Desmond, for example, has been one who has clearly articulated. He's built a conversation with voters. We need people who can explain the issues and educate and bring voters along so that they vote for leaders that have the right ideas.
I kind of like the idea of having politicians who have at least run a business or made sign the front of a check instead of always signing the back.
Well, as a small business owner with 5 employees, I could not agree with you more.
Oh, just because that kind of background, there isn't money after the budget.
That's right. And when there's not enough money to pay everyone, I'm the one that doesn't get paid. My people always get paid. That's a fundamental promise that employers make to their employees if they're good employers, and most of us are.
Can you imagine how that would change things if politicians' wages were based on how they did the budget?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. We'd have a lot more parking spaces downtown.
That's right.
All right, Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for rolling in, and we'll talk again. Have a great weekend.